Out of the thousands of places on Earth, there are only a select few that are considered the most beautiful. These destinations are more than just visually stunning. They provide some of the best travel experiences that will last a lifetime. From the steaming hot springs of Yellowstone National Park to the volcanic landscapes of Iceland's south coast route, here are the most beautiful places to visit in the world. New York City. New York City sits in the northeastern United States, made up of 5 boroughs, with Manhattan being the busiest and most visited. The streets stay active throughout the day, creating a steady pace as you move between neighborhoods. Central Park is one of the area's most well-known features. The northern sections, such as the Northwoods and the Harlem Near, offer wide shaded trails and calm water views. Not too far, Liberty Island gives you a clear view of the Statue of Liberty. A ferry ride takes you across the harbor, where you can walk the island pathways. Ellis Island also draws people who want to learn about early immigration. The National Museum of Immigration fills the main building, and the exhibits show stories from millions of people who arrived in America. Times Square is another one of the area's most well-known features. Here, large screens cover the buildings, and the lights fill the square with constant motion. The Metropolitan Museum of Art adds a calm indoor setting. The galleries cover many time periods, where you can choose the sections you want to explore. Broadway also draws steady crowds in the theater district. People gather outside the theaters as showtimes approach, while the TKTS booth offers same-day tickets at lower prices. For a wider viewpoint, the Brooklyn Bridge gives you one of the clearest long-distance views of Manhattan. Dubai Desert Dunes. The Dubai Desert sits just outside Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, where wide stretches of sand reach far into the distance, and the reddish-orange dunes become easy to see as you enter the open terrain. One of the region's most notable areas is the Dubai Desert Conservation Reserve. This protected section of land is carefully managed, and where you can see Arabian oryx, sand gazelles, and desert birds often appear across the dunes. Nearby, Al Badayer, also called Big Road, offers a more active experience. The steep, bright dunes create a popular place for off-road driving. Traditional Bedouin-style camps add another part of the experience. These camps are designed to reflect earlier ways of life in the desert, where you can enjoy an Emirati dinner along with Tanura spinning performances and falconry demonstrations. Camel-led heritage tours offer a slower way to experience the desert. The gentle movement of the camels creates a steady pace as you cross the sand, giving you a clearer sense of how people once traveled long distances through the region. Seychelles. The Seychelles is an island nation made up of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean, known for its calm beaches and tall granite formations that shape much of the coastline. Praslin gives you one of the clearest starting points in the Seychelles. Here, Vallée des Mai Nature Reserve is one of the most peaceful areas, with shaded paths moving between tall palms. One of the area's most well-known features is Anse Lazio. Here, the sand feels smooth and the water stays calm enough for easy snorkeling, where colorful fish move near the granite rocks, shaping each side of the bay. Nearby, Côte d'Or offers a long, shallow shoreline on the northeast side of Praslin. Here, Courrières Island gives you a chance to walk near giant Aldabra tortoises, while Saint-Pierre also draws people looking for clear water and simple snorkeling around smooth granite formations. La Digue gives you a slower pace with quiet roads and limited cars, so most people ride bicycles, which keeps the island calm and easy to navigate. Ansour d'Argent also draws people with its shallow water and bright white sand. Low tide gives you the clearest views of the rocks, and you can reach the beach by passing through l'Union Estate, a quiet park with open paths. For a more open stretch, Grand Anse gives you a wide area of sand on the eastern side of La Digue. Close by, Petit Anse offers a similar calm setting. Here, the sand spreads along the water, and the colors deepen as you move closer to the granite rocks. For a higher viewpoint, Nid d'Aglaé rises above the island with clear views across the water. The trail climbs through shaded sections before opening to a wide lookout at the summit, where you can see Praslin and nearby islands in the distance. By the way, all the top travel hacks are in one place, the Travel on a Dime ebook. I'll explain more about it later. Marrakesh Medina. The Medina of Marrakesh sits inside tall red walls built many centuries ago in Morocco, creating one of the most active and historic areas in the city. One of the area's most well-known features is Jema El Fna. During the day, the square feels open, with people moving between stalls and small stands. Not too far, the souks stretch across the Medina, with long covered paths lined with spices, leather goods, metalwork, textiles, and handmade items. The Kutobia Mosque also stands out with its tall minaret rising over the Medina. While entry is limited for non-Muslims, the gardens surrounding the mosque offer open views of the minaret. For a closer look at Moroccan design, Bahia Palace offers carved wood ceilings and bright tile patterns arranged throughout its rooms, making it easy to appreciate the work that went into each part of the palace. For a quieter interior setting, Ben Youssef Madrasa gives you a peaceful courtyard lined with carved stucco and cedar wood, where you can walk along the edges. Nearby, Le Jardin Secret adds a calm stop within the Medina. The garden uses traditional water channels and clear paths that let you walk and enjoy the quiet surroundings. Patagonia. Patagonia covers the entire southern end of South America, stretching across long valleys, tall mountains, and huge ice fields, giving you many places to explore. One of the area's most well-known features is Los Glaciares National Park. Here, the Perito Moreno Glacier rises in tall blue walls above the water, and the viewing balconies give you clear angles of the ice from different heights. Not too far, El Chaltén offers a quieter mountain setting, with granite peaks rising above the village. Trails like the route to Laguna de los Tres begin near the town, leading you through open meadows, streams, and steady climbs. Farther south, Ushuaia adds a very different atmosphere at the tip of Argentina. The city sits along the Beagle Channel, with mountains behind it. Boat rides through the channel bring you closer to sea lions resting on rocks and seabirds moving across the water. Across the border in Chile, Torres del Paine National Park brings another key part of Patagonia into view. The tall granite towers rise above bright blue lakes with trails that take you deeper into the park. Also, Glacier Gray stands out with its long wall of ice stretching across the water, shifting in shades of blue as the light changes. Close by, Puerto Natales works as a calm base along a long sound. Boat trips from the town travel through narrow fjords lined with steep cliffs that lead you to the Balmaceda and Serrano glaciers, where ice meets the water in wide, quiet formations. For a more remote experience, the Carretera Austral continues through forests, rivers, and small towns, keeping you close to the natural landscape the entire way. One of the most memorable stops is the Marble Caves, where the smooth gray and blue stone reflects the light in clear patterns. Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone sits in the northwest corner of Wyoming, with steady steam rising from different parts of the ground. The park rests on a large volcanic caldera, which creates strong heat beneath the surface that powers more than half of the world's active geysers and thousands of hot springs. One of the park's most well-known features is Old Faithful, erupting on a regular schedule. When the eruption begins, water shoots more than 100 feet into the air. Not too far, the Grand Prismatic Spring adds one of the clearest color displays in the park. The boardwalk circles the edge, where the bright rings around the deep blue center become easy to see through the steam. The Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone also draws many people for its steep yellow walls and powerful waterfalls. Here, Artist Point gives you a broad view of the lower falls as they drop into the canyon. Inspiration Point sits farther up the road, offering a direct look into the narrow walls and rushing river below. For open wildlife areas, Hayden Valley stretches out with calm grasslands and slow river bends. Meanwhile, Lamar Valley in the northeast offers long views across rolling hills. Also, Yellowstone Lake provides one of the largest high-elevation lakes in the country. The cold water extends far into the distance, and small steam vents rise along parts of the shoreline, creating a calm setting to enjoy the open water. Mammoth Hot Springs brings a different look with white terraces formed by mineral-rich water. Here, boardwalks guide you across active sections, where hot water flows over the rock and builds new layers. Swiss Alps. The Swiss Alps in southwestern Switzerland, known for their tall peaks, open valleys, and wide glacier views, Zermatt village gives you one of the easiest places to start, with wooden chalets and small shops that make it simple to walk around. From here, you first see the Matterhorn, a sharp pyramid-shaped peak rising above the valley. As you move through the center of Zermatt, the Mountaineers Cemetery adds another point of interest, offering a quiet look at the area's long climbing history. For one of the clearest viewpoints in the Swiss Alps, Gornergrat gives you a wide open look at the surrounding peaks. Not too far, Matterhorn Glacier Paradise brings you to another high position. Here, the Glacier Palace sits beneath the surface, with carved ice tunnels and frozen walls you can walk through at a slow pace. The Sunega area also draws people looking for bright open views. The Five Lakes Walk begins in this area, passing calm alpine lakes with clear reflections of the surrounding ridges on still days. For a quieter setting, Schwarzsee provides a simple place to slow down. Here, the Maria zum Schnees Chapel stands near the water. Now, I know you're getting excited about all these amazing places to visit, but if you're eager to travel the world to explore new locations, cultures, foods, and much more, while taking a breather from your everyday life, you also know it can cost you quite a lot of money. With the Travel on a Dime ebook, you have the opportunity to make the most out of any place you visit without overspending on your travel budget. From finding the right flights and hotel deals to money-saving tips during your trip, it's the perfect guide to help you travel like a pro, ensuring you have a great experience while saving hundreds of dollars on travel. Get your copy at thediscoverydestination.com. That's thediscoverydestination.com. Use code DISCOVER5 to save $5 off your copy. Great Ocean Road. The Great Ocean Road runs along the southern coast of Victoria, stretching for more than 150 miles. Built by returning soldiers after World War I, it stands as the world's largest war memorial, connecting you to small towns, forest trails, and open lookouts. One of the area's most well-known features is the 12 Apostles. These tall limestone stacks rise from the water and take on warm colors when the sun is low. Not too far, Loch Ard Gorge gives you a closer look at the cliffs. London Arch also draws attention along this stretch of road. For a different experience, Great Otway National Park brings you into deep forest, and a short road leads you to the Cape Otway Light Station, where the wide views reach across the water. Lorne provides a small place to slow down with forest trails. One of the short routes brings you to a tall waterfall that drops into a shallow pool, while the sheltered beach in town offers soft waves. Close by, Apollo Bay offers another quiet stretch along the water. Its long sandy beach stays open with the shoreline, giving you space to walk near the edge of the sand. The Bay of Islands adds a softer, quieter viewpoint with smaller limestone stacks rising from the water in different shapes. Cinque Terre. Cinque Terre sits along a small stretch of the Italian Riviera, where 5 coastal villages rise from tall cliffs above the water. One of the region's most well-known starting points is Monterosso. This village offers the widest beach areas in Cinque Terre and open walkways that make it easy to enjoy the shoreline. Not too far, Vernazza provides a natural harbor that feels steady. A small square sits near the water, and the narrow lanes guide you up toward the Doria Castle. From the viewpoint, the surrounding area comes into full view. Corniglia also draws attention for its higher setting. The village sits above the water, offering a quieter pace than the others. For a strong sunset, Manarola gives you one of the most open angles. The bright houses line the cliffs above a small harbor. Close by, Rio Maggiore offers tall, narrow buildings rising above a tight harbor. Here, you can walk down to the water and look up at the layered homes that give the village its distinct style. Arashiyama Bamboo Forest. Arashiyama sits on the west side of Kyoto, Japan, known for its quiet paths, tall bamboo, and steady river views. One of the area's most well-known features is the bamboo grove. The main walkway, Chikurin no Kumichi, guides you through tall bamboo rising far above the path. Not too far, Tenryuji Temple adds a quiet space beside the grove. The grounds open around Songenchi Pond, a garden designed in the 1300s. Okochi Sanso Villa also draws people looking for a peaceful walk. The villa sits on higher ground with wide garden paths, small tea houses, and lookout points with open views across Kyoto. The Katsura River area brings a wider view of Arashiyama. The well-known Togetsukyo Bridge crosses the water and gives you a clear look at the mountains, which change color through the seasons. For a higher viewpoint, Monkey Park Iwatayama sits above the river. Here, wild macaque monkeys move freely around the space, so you can observe them from a safe distance. The Sagano Scenic Railway offers a slow route through one of the most scenic parts of the district. Large windows give you a direct view of the valley, keeping the experience simple and relaxing. The Kimono Forest introduces a modern touch to the district, with tall pillars wrapped in colorful kimono fabric lining the walkway. The open design makes this section easy to enjoy as you explore the station area. Amalfi Positano Drive. The Amalfi Coast stretches along southern Italy with steep cliffs and small towns built close to the shoreline. One of the area's most well-known features is Positano, lined with colorful homes that rise above the water, and the narrow walkways leading you past linen shops and local sandal makers. The main beach sits at the base of the village, and a short boat ride from the shore gives you a wide look at how the buildings stack along the slope. Not too far away, Amalfi town adds a more open center. The cathedral near the main square stands out with its striped front and broad staircase. Ravello also draws people looking for higher views, sitting above the shoreline with calm streets leading you to open terraces overlooking the sea. At Villa Ruffolo, the garden paths stretch toward wide viewpoints, while Villa Cimbrone offers another clear overlook from the edge of its garden. Nearby, the Emerald Grotto gives you a short, simple stop. The sea cave is known for the green glow of its water, created by sunlight entering through an opening below the surface. A small rowboat brings you inside, where the color stands out against the rock walls. The Furore Fjord adds another unique corner along the coast. A narrow opening between steep rock walls leads to a tiny beach and a few old fishing homes. From the bridge above, you get a clear look at the deep cut in the cliffs and the bright water below. Bali's Ubud Rice Terraces. Ubud sits in the central highlands of Bali, known for its wide rice terraces that follow river valleys and hillsides. Farmers use these step paddies to manage water flow, creating long patterns across the land. One of the area's most well-known features is the Tegalalang Rice Terraces. The steps curve sharply down into the valley, forming long ridges that follow the shape of the hills. Here, you can walk along the narrow paths, cross small irrigation channels, and reach the lower levels for a closer look at how the water moves between fields. Not too far, Jati Lui offers a wider and more open landscape. The terraces spread across gentle hills, creating one of the largest continuous rice-growing areas in Bali. Also, small subak shrines appear throughout the fields, marking important points in the traditional irrigation network. Seeing the offerings placed at each shrine helps you understand how religion and farming remain closely connected in Bali. Lake Louise. Lake Louise sits in Banff National Park in Alberta, Canada, known for its bright turquoise water shaped by glacial rock flour. One of the area's most well-known features is the canoe experience on the lake, letting you move across the water without any rush. As you paddle toward the center, the view opens to the glacier and surrounding peaks, giving you a clear look at the size of the valley. Not too far, the Lake Agnes Tea House Trail brings you into a quieter part of the area, with the tea house sitting close to the water. The Plain of Six Glaciers Trail also draws hikers who want wider views. Glaciers and high rock walls line the trail, giving you a clear sense of the surrounding mountains as you continue along the path. Cappadocia hot air valleys. Cappadocia sits in central Anatolia, known for its tall rock formations called fairy chimneys. These soft volcanic structures formed over thousands of years, and many were carved into homes, churches, and shelter spaces used throughout history. One of the region's defining highlights is the sunrise hot air balloon flights. Just before daylight, dozens of balloons lift above the valleys, floating slowly over the chimneys as the sky brightens. A short distance away, the rose and red valleys show some of the clearest natural colors in Cappadocia. Trails move through pink and red rock walls, passing small cave churches carved into the cliffs. This valley network also draws you toward Love Valley, known for its tall, uniquely shaped chimneys. The wide floor keeps the walk simple, and the spacing of the formations gives each area its own look. For a different pace, Pigeon Valley stretches between Goreme and Uchisar with thousands of carved pigeon houses. The trail winds through shaded corners and open clearings, with side paths leading to quiet spots where you can look closely at the small openings carved into the cliffs. Uchisar Castle rises above the surrounding valleys as the highest viewpoint in the area. Carved stairways and tunnels guide you toward the top, where the summit opens wide views in all directions. Victoria Peak View. Victoria Peak sits on Hong Kong Island, rising as the highest point in the area, giving you steady views of the city. One of the area's most well-known features is the Peak Tram. This historic funicular climbs directly from Central to the top, and the steep incline gives you clear views of the skyline as the buildings stretch below. Not too far, Sky Terrace 428 provides the highest open-air platform on the peak. The terrace gives you a clear, unobstructed view of the surrounding area. The Peak Tower and nearby Peak Galleria also draw people looking for simple places to walk and enjoy the surroundings. Both buildings include upper levels with open viewing spots where you can sit and look over the harbor. For a quieter setting, Lugard Road Lookout Walk circles part of the peak with a flat, shaded trail, giving you a calmer experience away from the busier viewpoints. For a more open green space, Victoria Peak Garden sits slightly above the main lookout areas. The lawns and small pavilions create a peaceful setting for walking, while still staying close to the wider views around the peak. Serengeti Migration. The Serengeti National Park in northern Tanzania covers millions of acres of open plains and river valleys with a steady movement of wildlife, making it one of the most well-known ecosystems in Africa. One of the area's most well-known features is the Great Migration, when more than 1 million wildebeest move in a continuous cycle across the plains. Not too far, the Seroneta River Valley provides steady wildlife viewing at any time of year, often revealing lions resting under trees and leopards stretch across branches, while the river supports hippos at the Retina Hippo Pool, where you can watch them shift, splash, and settle into the deeper sections of water. The Morucopias area also draws many animals, providing clear views from raised granite formations. Large cats often rest on the rocks or move between the shaded sections. Hot air balloon flights offer a higher perspective of the plains, where you can see herds spread out across the grasslands. For a closer cultural experience, nearby Maasai villages provide a look at daily traditions, where you can meet members of the community, see their homes, and learn how they manage life. For a more remote experience, the Namiri Plains in the eastern Serengeti offer wide views of the surrounding area. This area was once designated for cheetah research, and the open grasslands still make it a strong place to see cheetahs move in clear sightlines. Walking safaris in designated zones provide a different way to understand the Serengeti. Moving on foot with an armed ranger helps you notice smaller details, while still giving you a strong sense of the environment. Lobo Valley sits farther north, following part of the migration route. Here, rolling hills and woodlands create long open views, where herds and predators move across the terrain. Venice, Italy. Venice, located in northeastern Italy within the Veneto region, spreads across 118 small islands in the shallow waters of the Venice Lagoon. More than 400 bridges link these islands, and about 180 canals run between them, creating a layout that encourages walking and exploring. One of the area's most well-known features is Piazza San Marco. This space is simple to cross, with its layout helping you take in the size of the area. Not too far, St. Mark's Basilica adds another major landmark. Inside, gold mosaics cover the ceilings and walls, and the Marciana Museum gives you access to the original St. Mark's horses. The Doge's Palace also draws many people, once serving as the center of Venetian government. The Secret Itineraries tour leads you through older rooms, prison cells, and narrow corridors that show how the building functioned during earlier centuries. A short walk along the waterfront brings you to the Rialto Bridge, the oldest crossing over the Grand Canal. From the top, you can see the palaces lining the water and watch boats move below. The Grand Canal serves as the main water route through Venice. A gondola ride gives you a traditional way to see the palaces up close, while a vaporetto ride offers a wider view along the full curve of the canal. Nearby, the Campanile di San Marco rises over the square. An elevator takes you straight to the top, where the open viewing platform gives you long views of Venice in every direction. A short walk along the canal brings you to the Peggy Guggenheim Collection. The galleries hold modern European and American art. Across the city, Libreria Acqua Alta offers a playful setup with books stored in bathtubs and gondolas to protect them from flooding. Nearby, the Scala Contarini del Bovolo features a spiral staircase that blends Gothic and Renaissance elements. Climbing to the top gives you a quiet rooftop view across Venice. A short trip brings you to the Jewish ghetto in Cannaregio, established in 1516. Here, the synagogues and nearby streets show the historic layout of the neighborhood. A Vaporetto ride gives you a simple route to Burano, known for its bright houses arranged along calm canals. Here, you can walk through the island, taking in the peaceful atmosphere. Not too far, Squero di San Trovaso shows one of the last traditional gondola boatyards. From across the canal, you can watch craftsmen repair and shape gondolas using long-standing techniques. A short walk from the boatyard brings you to Chiesa di San Zaccaria, a Gothic Renaissance church with quiet side rooms. The partially flooded crypt contains the tombs of several doges, offering a calm space to pause. London, England. London is the capital of England and the United Kingdom, stretching across Greater London. One of the area's most well-known features is the Tower of London. Inside, the crown jewels are displayed in a secure gallery, and the surrounding paths help you see how the castle developed over time. Not too far, Tower Bridge provides a clear look at the river. The walkways above the roadway give you steady views of the Thames, and the glass floors show the boats moving below. For a deeper look at London's past, Westminster Abbey offers another important stop. The interior includes royal tombs and Poets' Corner, where writers and thinkers are honored. A short walk brings you to Buckingham Palace, where the changing of the guard takes place outside the main gates, and during summer months, you can enter the staterooms to see the detailed interiors. For another view of world history, the British Museum provides free access to its collections. Here, the Rosetta Stone and the Elgin marbles are among the most recognized pieces. Not too far, the National Gallery, providing paintings from many time periods, fills the rooms. For a quieter area, St. Dunstan in the east offers a calm break. The open church walls sit among shaded trees and small paths, creating a simple place to pause without leaving the city center. Little Venice provides another slower setting, where you can walk along the canals and watch houseboats move through the water. For a higher viewpoint, the Sky Garden sits at the top of the walkie-talkie building. Free timed entry lets you move through the indoor garden and view the city through large windows that stretch across the upper floors. Leadenhall Market also adds a distinct stop with its covered walkways of detailed arches and open passages, making it easy to explore the space. Not too far, Holland Park offers the Kyoto Garden with a small waterfall, clear pool, and stone paths that create a peaceful corner within the larger park. Postman's Park provides another quiet stop, where ceramic memorial plaques line the sheltered wall and honor individuals who lost their lives protecting others. Highgate Cemetery adds one more area to explore, with old stone paths moving past Victorian tombs and historic graves, allowing you to take in the details of this hillside cemetery. Maldives Atolls. The Maldives sits in the Indian Ocean as a chain of coral atolls spreading across clear, shallow water. The country includes more than 1,000 small islands, many surrounded by calm lagoons and soft white sand. One of the area's most well-known features is Malé, the capital at the center of the chain. The narrow streets stay active during the day, with markets displaying fresh fish, fruit, and local crafts. A short walk brings you to the Old Friday Mosque, where coral stone walls show detailed carvings. Not too far, the North Malé Atoll offers a simple starting point for exploring the ocean. Banana Reef provides clear water and steady currents, where bright coral and fish appear easily as you swim along the edge of the reef. South Ari Atoll also draws people with its quiet channels and deeper water. This part of the Maldives is known for whale sharks that pass through year-round. For a different experience, Ba Atoll offers one of the country's protected marine areas. During certain months, manta rays gather in Hanifaru Bay to feed, circling through the water in smooth patterns. Farther south, Fuva Mula gives you a distinct change in scenery with a freshwater lake and tall plant life not found on most coral islands. The deep water around it attracts tiger sharks, and guided dives take you to safe viewing points where the animals pass by in steady, controlled movements. Vavu Atoll provides another calm setting across small, widely spaced islands. At night, guided snorkeling trips show nurse sharks resting along the sand or moving slowly through sheltered parts of the reef. Reaching Adu Atoll brings you to a group of islands connected by long causeways. Riding a bike across these stretches gives you wide views of the water. Vadu Island adds another unique feature with its glowing shoreline. At night, tiny plankton in the water light up when the waves touch the sand, creating small flashes of soft blue color. For a closer look at local life, islands like Mafushi or Todu provide a slower pace. Walking through the neighborhoods show how people live across the Maldives, connecting each stop to the next. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu sits in the Andes Mountains of southern Peru, resting close to 8,000 feet above sea level. The path toward the entrance opens into long agricultural terraces that step down the mountain, showing how the Incas shaped the land. One of the site's most well-known features is the main urban sector, where stone paths guide you through living areas, open plazas, and temples built with clean, precise stonework. Not too far, the Guardian's House offers one of the clearest views of the entire site. From this higher spot, the terrace is spread out below. The Intihuatana stone also draws people who want to see one of the most carefully carved features in the ruins. For a higher viewpoint, the trail toward the Sun Gate rises gradually along the hillside. From the top, you can see the full layout of the city and surrounding area. Another part of the site gives you the Temple of the Sun. Its curved outer wall and finely joined stones show a high level of skill. A short walk brings you to the trail leading toward Huayna Picchu. The steps climb steeply along the mountain, and from the summit, the full shape of Machu Picchu stretches across the ridge. For a quieter route, the path to the Temple of the Moon branches away from the main trails. The small cave contains carved niches and stone details that show another style of Inca construction. Close by, the trail to the Inca Bridge follows a narrow path cut into the cliffside. The bridge itself is a small gap that once used a removable wooden plank. Iceland's South Coast Route. The south coast of Iceland stretches east from Reykjavik, following the main road past several landscapes shaped by glaciers and volcanic activity. One of the area's most well-known features is Seljalandsfoss. A path wraps behind the falling water when the ground is safe, letting you look through the curtain of water as it drops into the pool below. Not too far, Gljufrabrøy sits partly hidden inside a narrow opening in the rock. Here, you can walk between tall walls until the sound grows louder and the waterfall appears in a small open chamber. Skogafoss along the route also draws many people, where you can walk close to the base and feel the mist from the powerful stream. From a higher view, a long set of stairs reaches the top, where you can look across the surrounding area. For a higher viewpoint, the path towards Gvunarfoss sits in a quieter canyon. Its steady, smooth drop and sheltered surroundings make the area feel peaceful. Another part of the region gives you Reynisfjara, a black sand beach lined with tall basalt columns and sea stacks just offshore. A short drive brings you to Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, where icebergs break away from the glacier and float slowly toward the ocean. Across the road, Diamond Beach spreads out along the shoreline. Clear pieces of ice wash up on the black sand, standing out sharply when the sun hits them. For a different experience, Sole Mariocul extends from the larger ice cap. The ice forms deep cracks and bright blue sections shaped by years of pressure and cold temperatures. Farther inland, guided tours into the Katla Ice Cave show layers of bright ice and dark ash inside the walls, revealing how volcanic eruptions and glaciers build on each other over time. Close by, Seljavallalog sits in a quiet mountain valley, where warm water flows from a natural source into a man-made pool. Yosemite Valley. Yosemite Valley sits in the Sierra Nevada mountains, forming the central area of Yosemite National Park. Here, tall granite walls rise on both sides, and the flat valley floor makes it easy for you to move through meadows and open paths. One of the area's most well-known features is El Capitan. The smooth granite face climbs sharply above the trees, and El Capitan Meadow gives you one of the clearest views of the wall. Not too far, the shape of Half Dome begins to appear above the valley with its rounded top and sheer face. Here, Stoneman Meadow offers a quiet place to take in the view. Close by, Yosemite Falls also draws many people. The waterfall drops in several sections. A smooth, short path leads you to the base of the lower fall, where the cool mist reaches you as soon as you get close. For a higher viewpoint, the road continues toward Tunnel View. After you pass through the tunnel, the valley opens wide with a clear view of the surrounding area. Another part of the valley gives you Bridal Veil Fall, where the water moves across the rocks near the base. A short drive brings you to the Mist Trail, one of the most active routes in the valley. The trail climbs toward Vernal Fall and then higher to Nevada Fall. For a different experience, the Valley Loop Trail circles the entire valley floor. The western side stays especially peaceful, so walking here gives you steady ground level views of the surrounding area. Swiss Jungfrau region. The Jungfrau region in central Switzerland covers a wide area of open valleys and tall peaks. The Lauterbrunnen Valley gives you a peaceful starting point with its tall rock walls, while the Grindenwald side feels more active with steady movement at the base of the mountains. One of the area's most well-known experiences is Jungfraujoch, where you reach it by taking a cogwheel train that climbs through a long tunnel and arrives at the highest railway station in Europe. Here, the Sphinx Observatory sits above the snow. Not too far, Schildhorn gives you another high viewpoint. The cable car rises quickly above the valley, and once you arrive at the top, the rotating restaurant provides views in every direction. On the way down, stopping at Birk gives you access to the Thrill Walk, a metal path set along the cliff that offers a close view of the deep drop below. Grindelwald is the next major area that also draws many people. Riding the gondola up to Grindelwald first brings you to a high viewpoint with several outdoor activities. Here, the first cliff walk curves along the mountainside, giving you a wide look over the valley. Another part of the region brings you back toward Lauterbrunnen, where hidden spots sit inside the cliffs. Here, Trümmelbach Falls runs through narrow rock passages, and the tunnels let you see and hear the strong glacier water as it moves through the mountain. Farther up the valley, the car-free village of Muren offers a quiet setting with open views and slow-moving streets. A short funicular ride takes you to Almendbol, where you can begin the North Face Trail that passes through meadows and small alpine farms. If you want something more challenging, the Muren Via Ferrata follows a route of steel cables, ladders, and a long suspension bridge. For an easier outing, Mannlichen offers a gentle experience, providing one of the clearest perspectives of the surrounding peaks. Bora Bora Lagoon. Bora Bora in French Polynesia is shaped by a large lagoon that spreads far beyond the shoreline of the main island. A full day boat tour in the lagoon takes you to quiet areas where you can snorkel above coral heads and swim with small reef sharks and stingrays in shallow, clear water. Not too far, Matira Beach provides one of the easiest places to enjoy the coast. The clear, shallow water lets you walk on the soft sand that stretches along the southern end of the island. Mount Otemanu is the next major feature that also stands out clearly with its steep, jagged peak that rises above the lagoon. A helicopter ride gives you a wider look at the mountain and the lagoon together. Another part of the lagoon brings you to coral gardens, where the water stays clear and colorful fish move around the coral in steady patterns. If you prefer something more active, Mount Pahia offers a guided hike through forested sections and higher rock paths. Santorini Caldera View. The Santorini Caldera View stretches along the western edge of the island of Santorini, where steep cliffs drop into a wide volcanic basin that opens across the Aegean Sea. Thera is one of the first major areas where you reach along the caldera with narrow paths and small shops arranged along the cliff. The walkways give you different angles of the water as you move through the center. Here you can visit the Museum of Prehistoric Thera, where you see pottery and artifacts uncovered from the island's early history. Vito Stefani sits just north of Thera, bringing a quieter atmosphere. Here, the pathways feel more open, and the elevation gives you steady views across the caldera. I Merovigli rises farther along the rim, providing some of the clearest views of the cliffs. A short path leads you to Scaros Rock, a large formation that once held a fortress, giving you a broad look at the water and the volcanic islands. The Caldera Trail continues toward Oya, where the scenery stays open and constant. As you approach the village, the white homes and small terraces create a calm setting overlooking the water. People often gather near the ruins of the castle of St. Nicholas to watch the sunset, while the blue dome churches near the Anastasi area add another recognizable viewpoint. A descent from the village brings you to Amudi Bay. The route follows steep steps down to a small port with clear water and red cliffs rising above it. Moving inland leads you to Megalochori, a traditional village with narrow lanes and older architecture. The small squares and shaded alleys show a softer side of the island, away from the busier areas along the caldera. Farther south, Emporio adds another historical area to explore. Its center forms a compact maze of stone passages and close-built homes that reflect how people once protected their community. Reaching the end of the caldera rim brings you to the Akrotiri Lighthouse. The viewpoint stands on a solid stretch of cliff facing the full sweep of the caldera and the surrounding area. If you're looking for any tips to enhance your own personal travel and help you manage your travel budget more effectively, click the link in the description. And remember to like and subscribe to help our channel grow.